Welcome to this quiet journey of thought. Tonight, you will drift off gently, while your mind explores 69 fascinating ideas, from science to philosophy to history and beyond. There's no need to remember everything. There's no test. Just breathe, listen, and let the ideas flow through you. Each one is simple, short, and meaningful. Explained clearly, with no heavy thinking required. Let's begin. 1. Realpolitik. Sometimes, doing what's right isn't what leaders choose. Realpolitik means acting in your country's best interest, even if it's cold or harsh. It's the art of making practical decisions instead of moral ones. Like shaking hands with a rival to avoid war. It's not about fairness. It's about survival. And it shapes the world more than we realize. 2. Schrödinger's cat. Imagine a cat inside a sealed box. You don't know if it's alive or dead. Quantum physics says, until you check, it is both. Alive and dead at the same time. It sounds strange, but it reveals how tiny particles behave in ways we can't fully grasp. It's a thought experiment that reminds us, some truths are uncertain, until we look. 3. Habeas corpus. 2 Latin words that protect human freedom. They mean you must bring the body. In law, this stops secret imprisonment. If someone is arrested, they must be brought before a judge. No silent jails. No vanishing without reason. Habeas corpus guards your right to be seen, to be heard, and to be free. 4. Entropy. Have you ever noticed how things naturally become messy? That's entropy. It's a rule in physics that says everything tends toward disorder. Your room gets messy, your coffee cools down, ice melts. Entropy is the universe slowly moving toward randomness. It's not chaos, it's just nature's quiet drift toward balance. 5. The double helix. Your body is built from tiny codes. Those codes live inside a shape called the double helix. It looks like a twisted ladder. That's DNA. Each step in the ladder is a message, a blueprint for life. Everything from your eye color to how you sleep begins with that spiral. 6. Real GDP. When we talk about how a country is doing financially, we use GDP. But prices change over time. Real GDP removes inflation, so we can compare years fairly. It shows if a country is truly growing, or just experiencing rising prices. It's the clearest window into the real health of an economy. 7. Black swan events. A black swan is something rare, surprising, and powerful. In life and history, black swan events are big moments no one saw coming. Like the 2008 financial crash. Or the COVID-19 pandemic. They change everything, and remind us that not all things can be predicted. 8. Philosophical zombies. Imagine a person who acts completely normal. Laughs, cries, talks like you. But has no thoughts inside. No real experience. That's a philosophical zombie. It's just a thought experiment. But it asks, how do we know others are conscious, and not just pretending? 9. Occam's razor. When choosing between 2 explanations, pick the simpler one. That's Occam's razor. It doesn't say the simple answer is always right, just that it's often more likely. If your lights go out, it's probably a power cut, not a ghost. Simplicity is a quiet form of wisdom. 10. The trolley problem. You see a train heading toward 5 people. You can pull a lever to switch its path, but it will hit one person on the other track. Do you pull the lever? This is the trolley problem. It's not just about trains, it's about choosing between bad options. And what our choices say about our values. Pause, soft music fade or ambient tone. That was just the beginning. You've listened to 10 of 69 ideas. And more are waiting, ready to drift in quietly, like a gentle thought before sleep. Let your mind rest. And let the learning continue, even in your dreams. 11. The butterfly effect. A butterfly flaps its wings, and weeks later, there's a storm across the ocean. It's a poetic way to explain how small actions can lead to huge consequences. In science and life, little changes, like one decision, one delay, one smile, can shift entire outcomes. The butterfly effect reminds us that nothing is truly small. 12. The observer effect. When you observe something, you change it. In physics, just watching a particle affects how it behaves. In life, it's the same. People act differently when they know they're being watched. Your presence matters more than you think. 13. Cognitive dissonance. It feels uncomfortable to believe one thing and act the opposite. That tension is called cognitive dissonance. Like saying you care about health, but eating junk every day. Our brains try to fix the gap by changing beliefs or justifying actions. Understanding this can help us be more honest with ourselves. 14. Dunning-Kruger Effect. Sometimes, people with little knowledge feel the most confident. That's the Dunning-Kruger Effect. The less you know, the more you think you know. But as you learn more, confidence drops until you gain real understanding. Wisdom often begins with realizing how much you still don't know. 15. The Great Filter. In space science, the Great Filter asks, if life is so likely in the universe, why haven't we found it? Maybe intelligent life destroys itself before reaching the stars. Or maybe we're the first. It's a haunting question, and a reason to protect our future. 16. Moral hazard. When people take risks because someone else pays the cost, that's moral hazard. Like a bank making bad bets, knowing it will be bailed out. Or driving recklessly because you have car insurance. It changes behavior, and not always for the better. 17. The prisoner's dilemma. Two people are caught. If they stay silent, both go free. If one betrays the other, they walk away, and the other suffers. But if both betray, both lose. It's a game of trust, and it shows how competition can ruin cooperation. 18. Tabula rasa. Tabula rasa means blank slate. It's the idea that we're born with no built-in thoughts, just a mind ready to learn. Like a notebook, waiting to be written on. Everything we become comes from experience. It's a reminder that learning shapes us more than we think. 19. Cold War. It wasn't a war of bombs, but of tension. Two superpowers, the US and the Soviet Union, stood face to face for decades. Spying. Threatening. Building weapons, but not firing them. The Cold War was a silent standoff, where fear kept the peace. 20. Occult. The word occult means hidden. It covers secret knowledge, mystic rituals, and ancient symbols. Not always dark, but always mysterious. From alchemy to astrology, the occult explores things science hasn't explained. Whether real or imagined, it fascinates the curious. That brings us to 20. Only 49 ideas remain. And each one waits quietly, ready to find you in the space between dreams and thought. 21. Occam's razor. When two explanations exist, choose the simpler one. Occam's razor isn't a rule, it's a tool. It helps us avoid wild guesses when a clear answer is available. If your keys are missing, it's probably not a ghost, just a messy drawer. Simplicity often holds the truth. 22. Pareto principle. 80% of results come from 20% of effort. It's called the Pareto principle. In work, life, and learning, a small part of what you do gives most of your results. The secret is finding that small part and focusing on it. 23. 6 degrees of separation. Everyone on Earth is connected by just 6 people or fewer. You know someone, who knows someone, who knows someone famous. It sounds impossible, but it's surprisingly true. The world is smaller than it feels. 24. Confirmation bias. Your brain likes to be right, even when it's wrong. Confirmation bias means we notice things that match our beliefs, and ignore what doesn't. It's why arguments feel so frustrating. And why listening is harder than talking. 25. Gaslighting. Gaslighting is when someone makes you doubt your reality. They say, "You're overreacting. That never happened." It's subtle, but powerful. Over time, it makes people question their own mind. Knowing the word gives power to spot it and stop it. 26. The law of diminishing returns. The more you do something, the less it gives back. At first, your workout is powerful. Later, it helps, but less. That's the law of diminishing returns. Doing more isn't always better. Sometimes, it's just more. 27. Feedback loop. A feedback loop is when the result feeds back into the cause. Like a microphone near a speaker, it grows louder and louder. In life, feedback loops can help or hurt. Positive loops grow fast. Negative ones spiral down. The key is noticing the loop before it controls you. 28. Stockholm Syndrome. Sometimes, people start to like those who hurt them. That's Stockholm Syndrome. It happens when victims bond with captors to survive. It's rare, but real. And it shows how strong and strange the mind can be. 29. Red herring. A red herring is a clue that misleads you. It distracts you from the truth. In mysteries, in debates, even in life. It's not a lie, but it takes you off course. Knowing it helps you stay focused on what really matters. 30. The Mandela Effect. Many people remember things that never happened. Like thinking Pikachu has a black tail, or Mandela died in prison. That's the Mandela Effect. It shows how memory isn't a camera, it's a storyteller. And sometimes, the story isn't true. Soft pause, calming tone. You've now reached 30 ideas. Some familiar, some strange. All drifting through your mind like clouds in a quiet sky. There are still 39 ideas left to explore. But for now, let your thoughts settle. We'll continue, gently. 31. The tragedy of the commons. When everyone uses a shared resource freely, it can run out. That's the tragedy of the commons. Imagine a village where each person takes just a little more water. Eventually, the well runs dry. It's a lesson in balance, that freedom must be paired with responsibility. 32. Yin and Yang. From ancient China comes the idea of yin and yang. Two opposites that complete each other. Darkness and light. Stillness and movement. Yin is quiet. Yang is active. Together, they form harmony. It reminds us that balance isn't in choosing a side, it's in holding both. 33. Cultural relativism. Not all values are universal. Cultural relativism means each society has its own rules, beliefs, and truths. What's right in one place may be strange in another. Understanding this doesn't mean agreeing. It means seeing the world through more than one lens. 34. False memory. Sometimes, your brain remembers things that never happened. A familiar face in a place they've never been. A moment you're sure was real, but wasn't. That's a false memory. It shows how memory isn't perfect. It's built from fragments, stories, and guesses. 35. Learned helplessness. If failure happens again and again, the mind gives up. Even when escape is possible, it stops trying. That's learned helplessness. It's not weakness, it's exhaustion. And with the right support, it can be unlearned. 36. The halo effect. When someone is good at one thing, we assume they're good at everything. That's the halo effect. A beautiful person might seem smart, even if we've never heard them speak. It's a shortcut the brain uses. But it's not always accurate. 37. Zeitgeist. Zeitgeist means spirit of the times. It's the invisible mood of an era. What people believe, fear, and dream about at a moment in history. The 60s had freedom. The 2000s had speed. Every age has a feeling. That's the zeitgeist. 38. The Great Game. In the 1800s, two empires, Britain and Russia, played chess across Asia. Not with pieces, but with people and borders. It was called the Great Game. Espionage, diplomacy, and silent power moves. It shaped nations we know today. 39. Postmodernism. After modernism came postmodernism. An idea that truth is flexible, and meaning is personal. It questions the idea of one right answer. It says, what you see depends on who you are. Postmodernism can feel chaotic. But it also opens the door to many ways of thinking. 40. The Peter Principle. In a job, people keep getting promoted until they reach a level they can't handle. That's the Peter Principle. It's why some bosses seem unqualified. They were good at their old job. But success pushed them too far. It reminds us, talent in one role doesn't guarantee success in the next. You've now heard 40 quiet sparks of knowledge. Some reflect the world outside. Some reflect the world inside. And still, 29 remain. Let your mind rest. We'll continue soon, in peace and curiosity. 41. Game theory. Game theory is the study of decision-making. When others are also making decisions that affect you. Like two companies setting prices. Or two countries in conflict. It's not always about winning. Sometimes, it's about predicting how others think. And finding balance. 42. Broken windows theory. If one window breaks in a building and no one fixes it, soon, more windows break. That's the broken windows theory. It suggests that small signs of neglect invite bigger problems. Fix the little things, and the big things stay under control. 43. Butterfly voting. On a ballot, confusing layouts can cause people to vote for the wrong candidate. This happened in Florida in the year 2000. A simple design flaw changed history. Butterfly voting is a reminder. Even democracy depends on small, clear details. 44. The ship of Theseus. If you replace every piece of a ship, is it still the same ship? That's the ship of Theseus. A puzzle of identity. If all your cells change, are you still you? It asks, what truly makes something what it is? Its parts, or its essence? 45. Zero-sum game. In a zero-sum game, one person's gain is another's loss. Like dividing a pie, more for one means less for another. But not all of life is zero-sum. Kindness. Knowledge. Collaboration. They grow when shared. Not everything is a fight for pieces. 46. Social contract. Why do we follow rules? The social contract says, we give up some freedom to live in peace together. We stop at red lights. We pay taxes. Not out of fear, but agreement. It's the invisible deal between us and society. 47. Butterfly effect in relationships. A small moment, a kind word, a silent pause, a look, can change a whole relationship. It's the butterfly effect, not in physics, but in people. Sometimes, a gentle gesture shifts an entire path. 48. Status quo bias. Our minds like things to stay the same. Even if change is better, we resist it. That's status quo bias. It protects us, but can also trap us. Growth begins when we step past it. 49. The looking glass self. We see ourselves through the eyes of others. That's the looking glass self. Your self-image is shaped by how others react to you. A smile, a compliment, a cold silence. They build the mirror you look into. 50. Hedonic adaptation. That new phone, that dream vacation. They make you happy. But not for long. Soon, you return to your normal mood. That's hedonic adaptation. It means we adapt to both joy and pain. And keep searching for balance. 50 ideas, now behind you. Tiny doorways into human thought, history, and experience. Just 19 remain. And you're free to drift with them, or rest now, with wonder in your mind. 51. Groupthink. When everyone agrees, not because they all believe, but because no one wants to be the odd one out. That's groupthink. It hides truth behind silence. Great ideas often come from the one who dares to disagree. 52. Synesthesia. Some people can hear colors. Or taste shapes. That's synesthesia, when the senses mix. It's rare, but real. And it reminds us. The brain creates more of reality than we think. 53. Neuroplasticity. Your brain can change. It can grow new pathways, form new habits, heal old wounds. That's neuroplasticity. It means who you are is not fixed. Even thoughts can be reshaped, with time and care. 54. Bystander effect. In a crowd, we wait, because someone else will help. That's the bystander effect. The more people around, the less likely anyone acts. But the moment you step in, the silence breaks. Courage is often quiet, but powerful. 55. Stoicism. Stoicism teaches this. You cannot control the world, only your response to it. Let go of what you cannot change. Accept pain, handle joy with calm, and keep your values. It's not cold, it's peaceful strength. 56. The golden ratio. Found in nature, art, and even your face. The golden ratio is a special proportion that feels beautiful. It's the quiet math behind harmony. A spiral in a shell, a sunflower's seeds, a painting's balance. Beauty often has hidden structure. 57. Cognitive load. Your brain can only hold so much at once. When there's too much to think about, clarity fades. That's cognitive load. Learning feels heavy. That's why space, rest, and small steps matter. 58. Anchor bias. Your mind grabs onto the first thing it hears. And clings to it, even if it's wrong. That's anchor bias. It's why first impressions are powerful. And why starting with truth matters. 59. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We all need food and safety first. Then love. Then purpose. Maslow's pyramid shows how human needs rise in layers. Before we chase dreams, we must feel safe and whole. 60. Altruism. Helping others, expecting nothing. That's altruism. It lives in humans, and even in animals. A gift. A sacrifice. A quiet act of kindness. Not for reward. Just because. 61. Echo chamber. When we only hear voices that agree with us, we live in an echo chamber. It feels safe, but shrinks our thinking. Diverse ideas may challenge us, but they also help us grow. 62. False cause fallacy. Just because one thing follows another doesn't mean it caused it. If you sneeze, and the lights go out, it's not magic. That's the false cause fallacy. Patterns fool the mind. Logic keeps us grounded. 63. Anti-fragile. Some things break under stress, but some grow stronger. That's anti-fragile. Like muscles, or minds, or systems that learn through chaos. It's beyond resilience. It's the power to improve through challenge. 64. Decentralization. Instead of one ruler, many voices. Instead of one center, many parts. That's decentralization. It brings flexibility, freedom, and sometimes confusion. It's how nature works. And how networks grow strong. 65. Falsifiability. A theory isn't scientific unless it can be proven wrong. That's falsifiability. It's how we test ideas. If something can't be questioned, it isn't knowledge. It's just belief. 66. The social mirror. Sometimes, we don't see ourselves directly. We see how others see us. That's the social mirror. It shapes confidence, doubt, identity. But mirrors can be warped. It's okay to build your own reflection. 67. Moral luck. Sometimes, we judge people based on results, not intentions. If someone drives drunk but gets home safely, we forgive. If they crash, we blame. That's moral luck. Our outcomes shape how others see our choices. 68. The veil of ignorance. Imagine designing a fair society without knowing who you'd be, rich or poor, strong or weak. That's the veil of ignorance. It asks you to create justice, without bias. A world you'd accept no matter your place. 69. The overview effect. Astronauts describe seeing Earth from space. One fragile planet, with no borders. They feel awe, connection, peace. That's the overview effect. It changes how they see life. And maybe, how we should too. You've now heard 69 ideas. Big ones. Quiet ones. Ancient and new. You didn't need to remember them all. You only needed to listen, and drift. Knowledge is not always loud. Sometimes, it whispers. Sometimes, it comes in dreams. Sleep well. You've already grown wiser.